Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're going to take a look at another Titans Return toy, and this time around we've got Blaster. Of course, it wouldn't be any fun in the Transformer toy line if we didn't have a Soundwave to go with him, and of course we do. The only downside is that the two toys are virtually identical to each other. They just used the same mold and made some minor changes of it for Soundwave. Which, hopefully if we get some time, we will try to review Soundwave this month. As you can see here, Blaster is done up in a rather bulky style, which does suit him very well. And like the Generation 1 form, he does have a functioning tape deck where you could insert the separately purchased cassette figures. Or if you didn't have one, he does come with this blank one that you can use as a substitute, should you choose. But that thing also has more uses in some of the other alternate modes. Thankfully, though, this is kept to a very simple pop-out release setup, unlike the original toy. So I don't foresee this one wearing out as quickly. But while we got it out here, let's take a look at this loose accessory. Kind of looks like a modern music player. So as you can see down here at the bottom, it does have a molded-in play and pause button. And this, of course, is a groove for the Titan Master to sit in. Of course, on the back side, it's reasonably hollow. And there are a couple of holes in here for mounting the gun, which we'll take a look at right now. Here is Blaster's gun. It's done up somewhat as a nice homage to the original Blaster's gun, since it does have the scope on the top of it, and it is about in the same basic shape as Blaster's G1 gun. So that's a nice little detail. And of course, we lift up Blaster's helmet, and we can take out his Titan Master. Well, first, without the helmet, you can get a good look at the face of Blaster. Looks rather mean, doesn't he? And anyway, we just pop him out and unfold the Titan Master. And here we have Twincast. Of course, for those of you fans of the G1 era from Japan, will know that Twincast was the name of the upgraded version of Blaster. So a nice homage to the G1 form. According to the packaging, Twincast apparently is a walking cipher. So he is a master at cryptography. So it'll allow Blaster to decode almost any message out there. Very impressive for an Autobot communicator. Of course, Twincast's articulation, he's got a fair amount here. Twincast can turn his head from side to side. He can raise his arms up about 45 degrees. You can bend both of his legs at the hip about 90 degrees, and you can bend him at the knees about 90 degrees. Of course, like I said, Twincast can also be placed in here. So you can sit in here like it's a tank vehicle of some sort. And of course, you just mount the cannon onto either hole, and now there you go. Some sort of weird little bonus vehicle you get with it. Yeah, no, it ain't much. Alright, back in you go. Chink, bonk. Now, as for Blaster himself, his articulation is pretty good. We can turn his head from left to right. You can raise his arms up at the shoulder, about so far. And, of course, you can rotate his arms at the shoulder all the way around. He does have a joint at the elbow, so you can bend him at the elbow 90 degrees. He also has a swivel at the bicep, so he has the famous G.I. Joe battle grip. His legs can be spread apart to do a full splits. You can raise his leg at the hip, just slightly under 90 degrees, and you can bend him at the knee about 90 degrees. So, quite a range of motion that Blaster has. Now, as one of the larger class Titans Return toys, he is a leader class. He does have two alternate modes, making him effectively a triple changer. He has, of course, his traditional boombox mode, and he does have a city mode. So, we're going to transform him and take a look at these modes. And then here we have Blaster in his alternate mode. More clearly done up to look like a boombox, which again is a nice homage to his Generation 1 counterpart. Although this time I think he looks a little more convincing with the way the speakers are set up here. I mean, you take a look here at the fine detail, you know. You even got the grilled pattern in here, so it's that's a nice detail. You could almost be convinced that that would actually play. But otherwise, it is a nice homage to the original. All done in the right colors, and even a carry handle. And yes, if you're wondering, you can still operate the cassette door. And since we don't have any of the cassettes, we just drop one of them in, drop that thing in, and there we go. Now we all start lip-syncing to some popular track. Well, you can do that. I'm going to transform him into the final mode. And here we are with Blaster in his city mode. And it's not too bad looking by itself. But of course it isn't intended to be played with by itself. Many of the other of the leader class toys for the Titans Return line, including Soundwave, Sky Shadow, and Overlord, all had city modes that could be attached to the Titans of that series, Fortress Maximus and Trypticon. So if you combined all of them together, you would have one large, massive Transformers-style city to play with. Now, of course, I'd love to show that to you folks, but I just have one slight problem with that. I don't have a Titans Return Fortress Maximus. So, for the meantime, you're just going to have to make do with seeing Blaster like this. But, of course, it's done up very nicely. I mean, we obviously got some sort of electronics scrambling equipment here along where his feet would be. Up here in the arms, we got a total of 5 cannons. And of course, his gun connects here to what would be a little command center. And you got 2 large bay areas where your Titans, little Titan Masters, can stand about, or you can have some of the smaller Transformers just lollygagging about, having a good time, or preparing for their next battle. But all in all, it is a decent little play feature. And it harkens back to the old days where we could combine the city transformers to others to expand our play city. So a nice callback, all in all. As you would probably figure, that gets into my final thoughts as well. This is a relatively decent callback to the old toys. It pays a nice homage to the cassette players, which did play a prominent role for many of us growing up, and it also plays back to the city transformers of the old days, where we were encouraged to get more and combine them together with specific other transformers. Basically, it gave us an excuse to annoy the heck out of our parents to go out and buy more of these guys. So it's nice to see that tradition is still alive and well. If I do have any real gripes about this toy, it's that it is a little complicated to transform. It's not the worst by any stretch of the imaginations. There are some out there that are a considerable pain in the butt to transform, but this isn't one of them. This one's okay. It's going to take a little effort, but once you've done it a few times, it's not really that bad. And all in all, this is also a nice callback to Blaster himself from the old days, and even a nice homage to what he became in the Japanese series. So all in all, a very excellent toy and a worthy addition to most collectors' collections. Anyway, that concludes my review of the Titans Return version of Blaster. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, drop me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and join our ranks. Don't forget to ring the bell so you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, please consider sharing this video with your friends and fellow collectors, and share your thoughts about Blaster in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.